Hello friends and welcome back to my channel. Today we have got an amazing topic that is called the aurora. So the aurora, many people think that those are lights which are performed by magic shows or magic, but no, that's not magic. That is actually real and there's a scientific reason behind that event. Okay, so you can say it as a scientific event going on, not magic. Okay, so let's see the formation and all the other amazing topics about the aurora. So today we'll be only talking about the aurora borealis. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so those aurora borealis, and in the second video we'll be talking about the leftover aurora australis, or however you pronounce it. So the aurora, or referred as auroras or aurorae in plural. Okay, so they are of two types: the polar lights or the northern lights and the southern lights. So the polar lights or the northern lights are called as aurora borealis, or the northern lights, and the southern lights are also called as aurora australis. So both are of different, opposite. The one, the northern lights are near the Arctic region and the southern lights perform near the Antarctic region. Okay, so Arctic up and Antarctic below, so it's like that. Okay, so you can see it with bare eyes, and it is really a very beautiful event performed. Okay, so the auroras are the result of disturbances in the magnetosphere. So now I'll tell you what is the magnetosphere in the the moving slice. Okay, so first I'll just tell you the you can say, I'll just brief you about it. Auroras are the result of the disturbances in the magnetosphere caused by a solar wind. Now, what is a solar wind? A solar wind is amount of energy passed from the sun towards the earth. Okay, so that causes the auroras. So these disturbances are sometimes strong enough to alter the trajectories of charged particles in both solar wind and the magnetospheric plasma. Okay, so these particles which perform the auroras mostly are of electrons, protons, and it performs in the upper layers, that is the thermosphere and exosphere. Okay, so always they perform in the upper layers and not in the below layers like the troposphere or stratosphere. Okay, so all this about the magnetospheric plasma and all, we'll be seeing it. So this was just a brief. So today we'll be only talking about the aurora borealis. So I'll quickly brief you about the history. That is, the word aurora, it comes from the Roman goddess of dawn called Aurora. And she traveled from the east to the west, announcing the coming of the sun. Okay, so the ancient Greek poets, they referred to dawn, and they mentioned the play of colors across the otherwise dark sky, meaning in the night. So they mentioned about all those play of colors under the goddess of dawn, that is Aurora. So that's why they kept it the name Aurora. Next, we'll quickly see the location where the auroras are performed. The auroras usually occur in the thermosphere, but sometimes they also occur in the exosphere. The thermosphere mostly, it is below the exosphere and above the mesosphere. So that is the location of the thermosphere, and it is about 90 kilometers, and 500 to it's like 500 to 1000 kilometers above our planet. Okay, so the atmosphere, it's like 500 to 1000 kilometers above our planet. So you can think how huge and how big is our atmosphere. Next we'll see about the aurora borealis. The name aurora borealis is actually two different words. Aurora comes from the Latin word aurore, meaning dawn, which I had told about you. And borealis comes from the Latin boreas, meaning the north wind. So the aurora borealis takes place in the northern part or the northern part. Okay, that's why they call it as the aurora borealis, the lights of the north. Okay, so then Galileo, okay, he thought that the northern lights were caused by the sunlight reflected from the atmosphere. Okay, and which brings us to the next fact, that is the first people used to think that's all about the goddess of dawn, Aurora. She has created it, but then Galileo tried to complex it or tried to make people know about it. So, and did you know that there are planets out there where also aurora borealis is visited, or you can say aurora borealis happens. Okay, so Earth is one of them because of the atmosphere. If there is no atmosphere, then we could not have the auroras. Okay. So next we'll be seeing what is the magnetosphere. I told you that we'll be seeing about the magnetosphere. So the Earth's magnetosphere is like shaped by the impact of solar wind, which I'll show in the front by help of the pictures. Okay, so this forms an obstacle to the flow of the solar wind which is coming towards the Earth. Okay, and it diverts those magnetos, the solar wind, it diverts the magnetosphere and makes it about an average distance about 70,000 km, that is kilometer. Okay, so that is a huge gap the solar wind creates. Okay, so the width of the magnetosphere is about 1900 not 1000, it's like you can say 1,90,000 km, that is 30 earths, like that. Okay, so the radius of 30 earths can fit in that much of distance. So and in the night a long tail is formed that is called as a magnetotail, a magnetotail. And all this, the magnetosphere, the magnetotail, all this happens because of the magnet, the magnet, in the sense the core of the earth. If the core was not there, then the magnetosphere could not be formed, and it would directly, the solar wind would directly come and hit on earth. That would be very, 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 destructive or very bad for the earth. Next we'll see, okay, about the formation. So the aurora is formed when energy called energy from this core of the sun, as I told you, the solar wind. Okay, so because of the temperature of the sun, the hydrogen atoms combine with the helium atoms, and because of the fusion, okay, when they combine, we call it as fusion. So the energy is released from that fusion, so that energy straight away goes and falls, and that is called as a solar wind. So it straight away moves towards earth. Sometimes it goes from the orbit and does not give any harm to the earth, but many times, most of the time, it hits earth. Okay, and in some of the magnetic fields, they move their way to space. Okay, so it just moves and goes towards the interstellar space. So this electrically gas is called the plasma. Okay, so I told you what is the plasma also. So it breaks its way out, when it just falls in the magnetosphere, it breaks the way of the magnetic field and stretches like, I'll show you that here is our earth, here is the magnetosphere. So the solar wind coming, it breaks the magnetosphere and makes it like this. Here is the earth, it goes like this and this. So I'll show you that. So I think so you'll understand properly in the by understanding the pictures. So I'll just show you the pictures. So this is the magnetosphere. So when the solar wind falls, that you can see those white clouds type thing. So those are the solar winds. So when these things fall on towards the magnetosphere, you can see how it bends behind. Okay, and in the last picture you can totally see that totally it stretches like a rubber band and comes behind. Okay, so the formation of that rubber band makes the aurora possible, because the in the northern and the southern place, the the solar winds, the protons or the ions there, combine with the electrons and neutrons present on the earth, that forms a green, red or blue color light in our atmosphere, which we call it as auroras. Okay, so this is some images of the auroras. You can see mostly they are of green, red, yellow and blue. So these colors only, mostly they are there. Okay, so thank you everyone. Today's video was really good. So if you like this video, please like, share and subscribe my channel. Okay, so bye bye for now.